today. This place is just filled with a bunch of roundabouts. It's pretty good. Loads are heavy, about 50K cargo. I don't know if you guys could tell. I mean, a lot of my wobble in the steering wheel that I had, like I'm wobbling, my truck's going straight now. A lot of that wobble is pretty much gone with these new leaf springs. I really like them. Only thing I don't like is I have to ride at a higher pressure now. Because with these leaf springs, the truck sits lower, therefore I have to bump up the air pressure in the front airbags just to sit at the same ride height. So I'm thinking about making some kind of spacer between the airbag and the plate, the 12 gauge plate. Kind of like what I had on my T660. That way I could actually ride at lower pressure and it actually will be even more smoother. I'm not complaining, it's still pretty smooth, but riding at like 40 PSI is more of what you want. It's a lot more smoother. Another roundabout, another side dump, another dump truck. Guys, I've got another dump truck up ahead. Man, just like I said, this place is filled with dump trucks. And another roundabout. We got one more roundabout after this one. This place is just crazy. Backed up to the dock. About to be a little while. It's granite stuff in boxes like this, so might be up to 2 hours to unload. But actually, guys, I did a little something. One thing I hated about this chassis is that it has no manual air pin, no manual pin to unlock and slide the chassis. You always have to move this glide hand over here, push in your red tractor trailer knob just to unlock the airlock. So what I did, I actually ran a separate glad hand right here, just with a 1/2-inch line straight from my air tank, and it's got this nice valve on here, so that way I could finally put on a glad hand right here on one side and put a glad hand right here, just like that. And you just open it up and that releases the airlock pin over here. And this little guy. Another nice thing about it is actually I could air up my tires because the tire hose has one of these glad hands. Just put it on, open it up. No need to use and bother the trailer glad hand anymore. Actually ended up getting another gauge, Teltec gauge. This one is the fuel pressure. So it comes with a complete harness. You got your phone cord looking plug that plugs into the back of the gauge, and this plugs into the sending unit sensor. So this is what it came with. You are not supposed to remove this. Basically, it looks like a plug, but this is not a plug. If you could tell, this has a tiny hole. It's like 0.008. Very tiny hole. Basically what this does, it helps the fuel always sputters up and down the flutter, and it's supposed to stabilize it a bit so your gauge is not going crazy all over the place. Fuel pressure gauge, this is 0 to 150 psi, should be plenty enough. And this fitting right here was able to track you down through CAT. Bought it on eBay, hoping it fits right here, right instead of this plug right here. If it does, that's gonna be awesome. That way I don't have to touch anything else over here. Well guys, dropped off my MT that I unloaded today, because we're gonna unload it back up next week, up north, Bellingham. That's what's nice, guys. We save a bunch of time just, you know, being able to just drop our MTs instead of returning them back at the port. Check out that W9 right there. Rolled up to this place over here. This is in Auburn, Washington. Get Spring. They got bushings, leaf springs, U-bolts. Actually came to getting bigger, longer U-bolts, because I'm gonna be adding the steering stabilizer, making my own, and these are too short, so I'm gonna have them make some, guys. This place is awesome. They got everything you need. Well guys, what are we doing today? So I got a new steering stabilizer. I was able to trace it down. This is, I guess, what 12 gauge uses, SC-2920. It's a steering stabilizer, pretty much same one that comes on some of the Mack trucks. So I made one of these brackets that attaches to the U-bolts, and another bracket right there that goes on the steering rod, and that's it. Super simple. This part's gonna go right there, and that part's gonna go right there, and that should help out a lot on these Kenworths with a lot of the steering vibrations and bump steer. So we'll try it out, see how it rolls. Bolt goes through there, and the shock is just gonna go on there like that, and we'll have to adjust it. You have to adjust it to make sure you don't lose any of your steering radius. So we're gonna turn the steering wheel all the way to the right and extend this all the way out, and maybe put a little bit like an inch inside, so we have a little bit of free play on both sides. That way you don't bust the steering stabilizer out. Got the stabilizer mounted up and adjusted in the perfect center to center position. The wheel is all the way to the left, and we still have a little bit that it could, about 1.5 inches. Well guys, it definitely feels a lot nicer with the stabilizer. Feels like there's not much steering wheel movement now when you hit a bump, like less bump steer. So I think it definitely does something, but we'll definitely see with the load how it feels. So yeah guys, I mean, it definitely is a big improvement with the steering stabilizer. I just don't see, you know, forking out $300 on 4-state trucks for the 12 gauge plus shipping, tax. Comes out to about 400 bucks. It cost me, you know, all in all maybe 100 bucks with the shock and the brackets. So very easy and simple to make. I say go ahead and try. If you do want to do it, go ahead and try making it yourself. It's as simple as You know, no welding, nothing like that. It's just cutting out and drilling some holes. But yeah guys, enjoy this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.